Chapter 1, My Guy. Narrated by Shandora Warren. Music by Epidemic Sound. I got dressed and looked at myself in the mirror. I looked good. I looked sophisticated. I was wearing a form-fitting black dress with black pumps. My hair was pulled back and pinned on both sides. A considerable amount of time was dedicated to creating the beautiful wave pattern in my hair, which fell mid-back. It was beautiful. I was beautiful. I looked over an assortment of jewelry. That was the part I hated the most, finding the balance. It was hard for me to find the middle ground between just enough and not too much, as I had come from a world where nothing was ever too much. I chose a simple pair of diamond earrings and a diamond tennis bracelet. Yes, that was just enough. I decided to finish the look with a simple black clutch that had a single diamond as a button. I applied some blush to my cheeks and a pale pink lip gloss. Everything fell just as it should have. I looked perfect. I took one last look before getting into my car and driving downtown. For the most part, it was my preference to have my dates pick me up and take me home. It was my opinion that such actions were the role of a suitable gentleman caller, but these were different circumstances. I had a vested interest in deviating from the norm. Every aspect of that situation was atypical. I parked and looked in the mirror. Again, I looked perfect. I walked into the restaurant, making sure to look secure and confident. "May I help you?" asked the hostess. She asked if she could help me, but she looked as if she wanted to do anything but. She looked at me like I didn't belong there, as if I were inferior. I told the hostess that I had a 7 o'clock reservation. She smiled stiffly and said, "Oh, you do?" I didn't like her tone or her arrogance, and I felt that she should be made aware. I removed my sunglasses. They were Dolce & Gabbana. I had paid $1,200 for them. I looked into the hostess's eyes, and I spoke. "Listen, sweetheart, I can only assume that your procrastination is a habit of the poor, as people of my status understand that time is money. Now, would you like to lead me to my table, or do I need to tell your manager how much you like to waste time?" The hostess looked embarrassed, but most of all, she looked defeated, and that was enough for me. She asked who I was there to meet, and I responded in the most condescending manner that I could muster. I said, "My date is the richest man here." She looked confused, but instead of engaging in verbal combat, she said, "Yes, right this way, ma'am." I returned my sunglasses to their original position. I wanted to present that same confidence when I reached my table. And there he was, my guy. He stood and greeted me with a kiss on the cheek. The hostess attempted to walk away, but he stopped her. "Excuse me," he said. She turned around to face us. She looked as though she felt inconvenienced, but she dared not say so. My guy turned to me. "Is there anything that you require, sweetheart?" I looked at the hostess, who wanted to be anywhere but there. "Yes," I said. "As a matter of fact, can you bring me a whipped Dorta, please?" My guy interjected. "Isn't that the delectable chocolate drink with the whipped cream on top?" "It most certainly is," I said. We both paused, then laughed. The hostess shook her head to signal that she was clear on everything, both stated and otherwise. We laughed again. That was something that we enjoyed doing. My guy pulled out my chair and signaled for me to sit. I sat. He walked around and took his seat. The conversation was boring, yet I pretended to be interested in his nonsensical rhetoric, even throwing in the occasional chuckle. That's not just the way it was on that day, that's how it always was. My new guy wasn't deep like Ken. He wasn't funny or witty like Antonio. Actually, he was quite dry. So, what was the appeal? Well, he offered something that was different from all the other men before him. He was David L. Herkowitz, Esquire. He was Antonio's lawyer, and he was about to become my new Ken. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow Shinny Tells a Story on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. If you like to purchase books by Shandora Warren, they're all available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and some in hardback formats. Thank you for helping me to create the world that I want to see. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Shine, little girl.